Hello and welcome back to Antar C. So this is the MC6 strip down and kind of rebuild. The second axle is now back on the chassis and it's all lubed up, greased up even. It's turning nicely. This is the third axle, the last and final. It's actually been in the best condition of all of them so far. The bearings that sit on the end of the shafts here, they're a bit grubby, as you would expect, because they get the most abuse. But the gears are all fine. The bearings on the gears are fine. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's definitely in the best condition of all of them. Why that is, I don't know. Maybe because by the time it gets to the last axle, a lot of the mud and gunk and everything else is moved out of the way. But that's a good thing. So we're nearly there. So what's going to happen is I will put the third axle back on. I'm then waiting for the motor, the new Holmes Hobbies Torquemaster Pro motor to arrive. So what I will do is I'll put the third axle back together and I will put some new end bearings in. So these ones here, the smaller ones, they'll all be replaced with new ones, and grease the axle. Put it back on, put the new drive shafts on, and then get the motor installed and then install the gearbox link. I need to play with that gearbox, the gear shifter, because I was spot on when I had it done first time, and then I moved it and messed around. I can't remember what I did, and it's not been brilliant. It would select sometimes, but not every time. So I want that spot on. Yeah, so that will be done. So the next video will probably be once the third axle's on, the drive shafts are on, and the motor is installed, and then we're ready to go. So yeah, just a very quick update, but it's going well. The motor's been the hold up really. I haven't done anything in this for a few days, so I thought I'd better get my finger out and get moving, because I've paid the customs duty on the motor, so it shall be here soon. So yes, get ready for the jump cut for the next part of the video. Welcome back, folks. Well, the motor is here. It is a Torquemaster Pro from Holmes Hobbies, all the way from America. It's a 45 turn motor, just like the original. Looks pretty fancy, huh? I'll leave a link in the description to the motor itself in case you want to check it out. They do various different turn ratings. It's a 540 motor, so it's a direct replacement, and it replaces the original motor that comes with the Cross RC MC6. Now, one thing I will stress is that this motor has been superb, absolutely fantastic. It has been put through some serious tests. You know, the truck, as you've seen, has been in mud, it's done some serious hill climbs, it's carried a lot of weight on the flatbed and including on the trailer as well. And why did I replace it? Well, why not? I was going to run it until it died, but I didn't. In hindsight, I thought, no, I don't want to do that because I love this truck so much and I love using it. I don't want to be in that position. So I thought, you know, let's buy one. Intrigue, I suppose, just to see how much better. I've recently used the Hobbywing XE Run brushless motor in the SCX kit. If you haven't seen that, please do check it out. It's on our channel. And I've been quite impressed with the difference that motors can make. But I will stress again that there's nothing wrong with this motor at all. It's been fantastic and it's still performing fine. So the last part of the video you saw, I was looking at, well, I had the third axle in bits. Now that is all back together. The end bearings, the hubs were a little bit ragged to say the least, so they were replaced, and it's all running nice and smooth and it's all back together. The gearbox servo has been sorted. What was happening was that it wasn't quite engaging either gear low gear or high gear when I press the button on the TX. So, well, it would engage, but you'd have to drive forward and backwards, and sometimes it would and sometimes it wouldn't, so it wasn't quite there, and all it was that there wasn't enough servo travel. I needed to move the shaft over and just kind of realign the servo horn. It wasn't quite right. Now it seems to be perfect. I've tested it in the garden and it seems to be running fine. So that's sorted, and obviously the motor is in, no issue with that. The mesh actually was, in my opinion, was far too tight on the original motor. Not that it seemed to cause any issue, but I've loosened it slightly. This truck is very noisy in crawler gear, much more so than the MC8. Not sure why that is, but you can definitely tell when running next to Andrew's MC8. And I thought it might be the motor, I thought it might be the axles, grease, etc. And obviously the axle's been apart, new bearings, new grease in the gearbox, and it's still noisy. So I think it's just the way that truck is. I mean, I haven't put the cover back on yet, so it might quieten it down a little bit, probably not that much. So what's special about this motor? Well, to be fair, I'm not an expert about motors. There's lots of research and videos from Holmes Hobbies, but my first impression, and I will do jump cut to a video in a second, that it's a lot quicker. It's definitely a lot punchier than the standard. So for the same gearing, you give it some throttle and it does take off, which is quite a good thing in high gear, because when you're walking along, you know, we always run with a 3S LiPo, just because we've all got 3S LiPos, Andrew and I, and we just tend to run it, and we run that in the 1/10 as well. So this runs a 3S LiPo, and in kind of second gear, if you like, it isn't that quick. Not that you want to go that quick, but sometimes when you're walking a long distance, because some of our crawler sites, if we got a bit of a walk, can be a bit of a drag. This is a lot quicker. What it does do, however, is it's a lot better at initial takeoff speed. Same ESC, same settings as I had this motor in, and I'll get this down on the floor in a sec. We'll do a jump cut and I'll show you what I mean. It is super slow, which is great, you know, superb. It's supposed to be a very high torque motor. I can't tell until I get out on the trail and we go to our usual places, and then we'll find out. The other thing that I've changed is tyres. I had mudslingers, 4 RC four-wheel drive mudslingers on the back and the kind of copy super swampers on the front, and I've put mudslingers all round just to kind of make it look a little bit more symmetrical. And the super swampers, to Andrew's credit, he found them, to be fair, by accident and used them, although he will claim that it was a intelligent and informed decision, which is nonsense. But yes, they are good, so I've put them on just to, you know, help it out. It seemed to get, you know, seemed to struggle with a little bit of climbing, and I don't think in my opinion, the super swampers are, sorry, the mudslingers, beg your pardon, are actually as good as we thought they were. I think they have their place, obviously. So yeah, let's do a quick jump cut and let's run her on the floor and see how she goes. Okay, welcome back. So we've now got the truck on the floor and run it out in the garden. So this there's no throttle curves applied or expo or anything like that. Throttle's turned up to maximum. This is just me being gentle. So it's really nice and smooth. It's really, and it's easy to be gentle with it like this. I'm not having to be super careful on the throttle, but it's just climbing nicely. So you wouldn't do this with the original motor, and I'd stress this again, this is the same ESC. It's fantastic. It's really let's move the camera up slightly. It's really gentle. Superb. Okay, so to give you an idea about, I was saying it's faster than the original. So this is in crawler gear. So that's pretty fast. It was never that fast before. So let's now put it in. I mean, that's quite some speed. So that's fast. It was never that quick. I mean, I know it's on a 3S, but we used to run on 3Ss. We have run on 3Ss with these all the time. I've never run them on a 2S. So that's pretty quick. Far too quick. So I'm going to have to turn that down because it's not necessary. And obviously it hasn't got the little flatbed on it at the moment, so it's not quite a fair test, but I have run it with the standard motor without the flatbed on. But yeah, again, I'll put it back into crawler gear. It's just super slow. Really happy with that. We'll do another jump cut and we'll do a video of it crawling down the bit of wood here, just to finish off the video. Okay, so just a quick run, nice and gently going down the slope. Fantastic. Okay, so that really completes the strip down and the build video, rebuild video, and it's been a big success in my opinion. It's not been in as bad a condition as I feared it would be. I've been really pleased with it, and yeah, nothing's really gone wrong or stripped or there's no disasters, which is superb. The next video I'm going to do will be to talk to you about my thoughts about this truck, pros and cons, general MC6 review, and go over the things I like, dislike, things that maybe could be better, things I've changed or would change, and what my plans are for the future, whether I'm going to get another Cross RC model, having a bit of a think about that. Some, you know, need to keep the ideas fresh for the channel to keep you guys interested, which ultimately is the main thing. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this build series, and please check out our run videos if you haven't. There's a few more coming up. We always try to do as many as we can. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.